advisory work for people, so that's been fun.
Nice.
And then also I joined a sailing team. Like my buddy in our local area has like a sailboat, and
Oh
so
wow.
like every Wednesday we just go, we hop on the boat and we go like racing. We're in like the lowest class, and there's like 3 or 4 boats every time. But yeah, it's super fun. I've never really been a sailor, and now I'm learning all the technology and yeah, learning
There's
how the ropes, as they
quite
say. Right?
there's
So,
quite a few email geeks in sailing. So
mhm.
when I was at Campaign Monitor, um, oh, names escape me. Um, oh, Nelly, who did I go to school with from Campaign Monitor? Yeah. What? Rosa? No. Oh, Nelly, I can't remember the name for me now. But
Yeah.
and then there's Ryan Phelan and R.I.P. John Caldwell was a massive sailor. But there's a
Oh
lot
wow.
of
Okay.
people in the sailing community, so that's pretty cool. I was
Yeah.
down at the coast, but it was horribly hot. Um, so, but I did
Yeah.
get to spend time with um, Pandora, so that was amazing. So spending
Nice.
family time was always
Yeah.
cool. And I think we're supposed to go live in a couple of minutes, but we're already. I know we're
Oh, we're
already
live.
live, but we're
Yeah.
not officially live for the
Oh,
next
I
two
see.
minutes. And what we're not
Okay.
doing is the intro and the scary thing. So most people don't arrive on time, and we're left like, oh, have we gone live
Yeah,
yet? Have we
that's
gone live
true.
yet? No,
Or
we're
you do
live,
the
guys.
right or the awkward.
Just
Let's just give them a couple more minutes, guys. We'll get
yeah,
started soon. Like no,
yeah, they can
not
watch the
today.
recordings.
Not today. Yeah.
So yeah, so I had a pretty good week, but yeah, Europe is burning up, so maybe not quite. So it was good though because I was kind of being part time, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that worked for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's the first show, and we should probably talk about when we first started working together. And I know that we can't settle on whether email experts started working in 2020 or 2021.
I think it
Um,
was 2021. Now that I think about it, because I had just started at Kickbox like the week before. I was in Texas like the week the world shut down. It was like my first week there, and it was the week the conference was supposed to happen. And I think
yeah.
so Dennis Dayman was there, and he's like, "Yeah, I was supposed to go to London, but like now it's all hybrid." And yeah, so okay, so 2021 is when I
Yeah,
officially started.
yeah, no, that was a wild time. So,
I don't know how
um,
you pulled it off. I think it was a gift that you folks decided to have like a hybrid event at that
yeah.
specific moment, like because you pivoted so naturally to
Well, not
just
just that.
online
It was
content,
like
right?
when I was fighting the whole thing, going pandemic, what pandemic? Like weeks before it was like
Yeah,
when there was first cases being spotted in China and things,
yeah.
and Nelly was like, "This is not good. This is not good. I'm already working on a plan B," and I was like, "We are not going to need the
All
plan B.
right.
I'm working on the plan B." So I think it looked a little bit smoother than it was, just because we had that one that was already hybrid, which
Yeah.
was really cool that we were
Well, shout
working
out to Nelly
remotely.
then. Nelly, you have the
And
foresight of an angel.
well, yeah, and yeah, that was good. It was really good. So I think only one person didn't make it to speak, and everybody else was a really good sport. And yeah, I think it was good. It was good. It was not what we expected, and yeah, it was a rough start to what was supposed to be our proper launch. But we're really glad that we had you join us online. And kind of one of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about. I mean, so you were at Kickbox at the time,
Mhm.
um, and I was keen to get you on board because you were kind of changing the. I felt that you were kind of pivotal in changing that whole conversation around list hygiene, um,
Ooh,
and I was like, and how are they doing this? Because people, there was a section of email geeks that was just so it's foul, it's repugnant, and
yeah,
it was cold email of its day. I would say, and I'm not saying that cold email is yeah, completely wrong
yeah,
analogy, but it really was like untouchable for so many people,
yeah,
and I don't know that 2018, 2019, literally was like
yeah.
don't touch
It was
this.
scourge of the earth.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Don't do it. Right?
and
Yeah.
then by 2022,
Mhm.
Sobel and Stamhouse were like, sure, we'll be on a panel with those folks. And I'm like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So how do you think those kinds of seems to me like quite a ground change. How do you think that's going?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it helps because my roots are deeply in anti-abuse and deliverability and just all of like, let's say like the right things about email. And so I think I was working on a multi-part piece with 250 OK before I joined Kickbox, and we went like deep into list validation, right? And just kind of like the pros and cons and the misconceptions and the ways you should use it and the ways that are silly to use it. And so I think I went into that job with this very clear picture of my own stance on list validation verification. I think it was like I was anti it because there were all these things like it just, I mean, I feel like mailbox providers, everybody in anti-abuse just thought it was like a gnat around your head. It's like mosquitoes, right? Like just floating around. Or maybe let's say like imagine you have somebody who's basically just calling every household in like the world and just being like, hello, is this a number that works? And like they don't care if anybody picks up the phone. They're just making sure there's a number that works, perhaps, right? But the person who lives there is hearing the phone ringing constantly. And so like I almost imagine that's like the level of stress that like mailbox providers were feeling. And so like I think that's like I think when I started at Kickbox, somebody in the anti-abuse space was actually like, every dog needs a job or like something to that effect. But like really, Lauren, like you. And I was like, look, they've got a deliverability platform they're starting. They are really trying to do verification correctly. And there are valid use cases for it, right? And so I think it was just a matter of like my mission just became use it correctly and you're fine. Don't use it the dumb ways or the spammy ways, right?
And I think there was so many people around in the space at the time that were, and probably still is, that talk about identifying your spam traps. And I think that was one thing that you stepped away from.
I mean, I think it's silly not only because you can't catch them all, but I think the biggest thing for me was there's this opportunity. Like you have this data that helps you find a problem. Like it's like this little treasure map to finding the place where the spam traps are coming in. If you just remove the ones that you know about, like you're never going to find that issue, right? So like you're just removing your view of the problem, not the actual problem itself. And that part really like it hurt my heart to see people doing that. So yeah.
Oh, it kind of for me it felt like it feels like it defeats the object. So we would. When I was at ESPs, we would run our own spam traps. So we would know when our spam traps appeared on our customers' lists. The objective was never to tell them that this was a spam trap. It was to try and work with them because we had insider information. And it was our own spam traps. I'm not saying that I had external spam traps, our own. But it's like, so I know this segment, so let's work with you to clean your list. And they come back and they're like, okay, so we've done that. And you're like, no, the spam trap's still there. And they're like, well, just give it to us. And we're like, well, no, this is the whole point. We're trying to find out where the leak is in your supposed clean sign-up process. So it kind of feels like shortcuts that shoot yourself in the foot, really.
Very much so. Yes. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so why are we changing our minds? Is that because we don't know what we're doing, or is it because everything's changing, or why is it happening?
Okay, this is a very professional question, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. Why are we doing it? We're doing it because we love email. I do think things have been changing really quickly in the last couple of years. Like, there's like the industry joke that nothing has changed in the past 20 years, and we're all just giving the same advice and all this stuff. And it's funny actually. Marcel Becker from Yahoo was on a webinar last week with somebody, and it was like he mentioned the same thing of like, just send valuable content to people that wanted it. You'll never have a problem with inbox placement. And like literally, I think that was in my presentation in 2021 because for senders that is just incredibly frustrating advice because you're like, well, yeah, duh, but like how, but I think, but it's so accurate because like we still just need to realize we're sending to humans, but at the same time, all these signals around us are changing. All of like, the requirements are higher. Like, it's harder to reach the inbox, but just from like a configuration standpoint. But then, like there's just been changes. Like Google Postmaster Tools is changing. SNDS is changing. JMRP, right? The feedback loop is changing. Like there's all these things that require you to change your dashboard or the place you're looking or how you're like explaining that kind of piece of information to someone. Like, what is it, inbox placement testing, same thing, right? Like it still has value, but it's changed, like the way that you need to use that information is different, right? So I think that's where we need to have a bunch of people in this industry who are like just on top of those changes and helping people understand, what do you specifically need to do? Like, is there anything you need to do? Is it just a
Yeah.
mindset shift, or do you literally need to go talk to your devs and ask them to rebuild a dashboard in a proper way or something, right? So I think there's so many challenges, not to mention the ones that have been there forever, which is just businesses, non-email people don't know how hard this stuff is. They don't care how hard it is. They just want outcomes, and the way that they get to those outcomes is very misguided, right? Like they just send more email, do this, like we all know what we're doing, I think, in this industry, but we need backup to be able to explain that to other people. So I think that's part of the challenge too.
And I think in many ways, I mean, we back up the mailbox providers, but the mailbox providers back up what we're telling people, and it's all about
Yeah.
the interests of the person who has the mailbox at the end of the day.
It really is. Yeah. And I think
Makes
I
sense.
love that mailbox providers have actually just been so much more like available in the last couple of years. Like I feel like before it was almost like this like smoke screen of like, well, they exist, but we've never met anyone from there. They're like a dark shadow in the corner at a conference if they're even there, right? And their badge is turned over or something. But now it's like, Yahoo in particular is incredibly supportive. Like those people, you can reach them. They're in different communities. Like they're available when you have a question via email or something like that. But yeah, like they're trying to be there and to really reinforce that idea that it's all about the recipient. Like we're not in control, they're in control. We're facilitating how to make them happy, and
Yeah.
so are you. Like for them to kind of really kind of close the circle of like, we're all in this together and we're all trying to serve this same kind of customer, if you will, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that's been
And
amazing.
definitely big shout out to Yahoo. I see the at other events, and Marcel's already confirmed to be at London Forum, which is
Yay,
awesome.
nice. All right.
And yeah, I definitely remember the closed doors when there was only one or two potential events where you could potentially see them but not speak to them.
Right.
Um, but I am very proud that Email Expert, and I would say it was Email Expert, not me, that managed to crack the first interview. That was the public interview with Sri
Yeah.
Samunchi at Gmail, Google, because they had never been given permission to speak.
Oh, that's yeah,
Before.
it's so important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember actually somebody was like, "You're so busy at this conference. What are you just every time I see you, you're running around?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to find Sri. Have you seen him?" Like, no,
Yeah,
no.
no, it was, and even that I have to hats off to Nelly, who was there as the plus
Mhm.
one at M3, and was gone for like 3 hours and then came back. I was like, "Who are you talking to?" And she's like, "Sri." And I'm like, "And who is Sri?" And I'm like, "What? Come in." Yeah. So and yeah, he was absolutely lovely, and then went on to do with the ESPC. We did a fireside chat with Sri for the ESPC and stuff. So yeah, hats off to them, and hopefully we can convince the big G to come to one of the events soon as well. Again, it's been a while, but hopefully they will. But yeah, it definitely feels harder. And talking about Gmail, have you logged into your personal Gmail account recently? I had completely missed, and I like to think we try and cover everything at Email Expert as much as possible. I
Yeah.
completely missed the update from Gmail where promotions are being set in non-chronological order.
Oh, really? You missed that one, huh? Man, you've been
Yeah.
just so busy with your event organizing, sir.
Well,
Um,
because I only do B2B. I only send B2B,
Fair. Okay.
and I only log into my B2B mailboxes. I'm never. Honestly, I've no. I mean, I log into my personal Gmail, but
Yeah.
I don't click the promotions tab like
Huh.
it's to recover passwords and stuff. So
Okay.
I was just like, because my whole first page is from like 2018, because I haven't interacted with anyone in years.
Oh my.
And so I
Oh
was
wow.
just like, wow, that's something I'd like to dig into in future. But kind of segues into why does it feel harder?
Mhm.
And I think we haven't done any of that, and I don't want to sell. But I do want to talk about what we're doing, and one of the things that we're doing, and we've been working together now properly, or working with each other for like coming up to 4 months. And one of the
Yeah. Mhm.
things that's come out of that collaboration is these monthly deliverably roundtables, and that's something that we're trying to address why it feels harder. Do you want
Yeah.
to talk a bit
Yes.
about what you've got planned and
Sure.
tell people why they want to be at be on the round table. 'Cause we're
Yeah.
a week
Well,
away,
and
the next one.
yeah, I think it's next Tuesday, perhaps. Yeah, Tuesday, July 7th. Maybe it's 2 Tuesdays, July
Two
7th, right?
Tuesdays away. Yeah,
Yeah, there we
yeah,
go. 2 Tuesdays. So,
yeah.
and I don't think you have to worry about getting promotional because it's a free event that like literally anyone can join, even if they're not an email expert member. Which there is a free membership, so don't worry, you guys can join Email Expert Hub anyway. But yeah, I think the idea behind it is literally just to have a different format, a different way for people to connect online. Like in person, in conferences, you get the experience of, you see people on stage, you get a chance to ask questions at the end of the session, but then you can also go find them in the coffee room or wherever the conversation is continuing. But online, you really just you see the talking heads on a webinar. Maybe they answer your question from the chat, but then that's it, right? And so I think this is really meant to be get people who don't get up on stage to be able to have a chance to interface with other people, right? So like I join, I love them. Yes, you see me on stage sometimes, but also I'm just there to facilitate. And so it's all the smart people in the room that are literally trying to figure out what the hell to do with their day, right? Like they're like, this change affects me, or here's the data that I'm seeing. And like what's really cool is sometimes we'll have these conversations where somebody asks kind of one of those like hypothetical questions of like, oh, well, I wonder what that looks like in the data. And then there's some other nerd who just like digs into their logs real quick and is like, just gives you an answer right away, right? And then you have somebody else who chimes in. They're like, yeah, we're seeing that too, or we're not seeing that, or it looks a little different. And so every single one is different, but the idea is just we come together on a certain topic and then we all come out with a ton of notes and a ton of ideas and just feeling supported. Like it's really meant to be a safe space where you can say things, even we're not giving away trade secrets here, but we're doing things that are incredibly valuable, I think, to the people that join. So if you're around, please join us. It's great. Yeah.
I think that safe space point is worth doubling down on because I did give in, did acquiesce that your idea was probably much better. I mean, my focus is like we need to generate content, we need to show people what we're doing at Email Expert, and like the Deliverability Roundtable, this is like a fabulous way to do it. But your point was really excellent about the fact that some people aren't comfortable going on camera if it's going to be shared with others, aren't comfortable if it's going to be streamed, aren't comfortable. And so the idea now is we're going to have like a 5-10 minute introduction and then switch off the recording and the streaming, and people are able to have that private conversation.
I love that.
Chat house rules.
Right. I think it's the perfect mix because it does give us a chance. Because I think that's one of the issues that I faced because I've been running roundtables for a couple of years and like I always kept them super secret and all you would see is maybe like a very short recap after and then just like the static image that just is like next one's coming this soon. But so actually being able to see a little bit of it, get a taste of it in that first couple of minutes is great. But then also everything else, stays super cozy. We don't want people to feel stupid after the fact because they said something that they're embarrassed about or oh my gosh, my competitor is going to hear that now because I said it. I said too much. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble at work. Like none of that. It's really meant to be just somewhere where you can get raw, you can get real without worrying about consequences.
Absolutely. And so, I'm really glad that you were like, why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we doing it that way? Because that's definitely the way to go. And I unfortunately hadn't joined one of your previous sessions. I think they'd been going for quite a while when you were doing Super Secret before I'd even, life. But and now we're hosting sessions with you. So
we are. So exciting. Love it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get promotional here, but should we give a shout out to the sponsors? Because I feel like nobody wants to talk about sponsors, but at the same time, they're the reason that we can afford to do this kind of stuff and make it free for people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, members, and the members do sponsor us. Nelly, throw up that screen. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Hopefully everyone can still hear us. So it's growing, and we have Web Strategy by Martrix as the newest member. They signed up the same week as Zoho, which was pretty amazing. And so great, hoping for great content from both of those people going forward. So one of the great things about the members is that great companies with great people, or there's certainly great people at all of the companies, and therefore able to deliver some brilliant content. Sendpost with Varun and LB Blair,
Mhm.
it's been a really great new member to have. Zero Bounce, I think unfortunately they're not renewing, but everyone else is. Easy DMark's been a fabulous partner, and likewise Post Mastery. Infobip, Infobip was probably our first CPAS, and then Easy DMark, or possibly the other way around. But yeah, there's a whole other part of the email and messaging industry that we're hoping to try and tap into and get involved with. And SendCloud was another CPAS essentially. Bounce has been with us for absolutely ages, actually supporting me right now. Oh, take this down. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
My cushion, my
He's literally
Winston
supporting
cushion.
you.
Yeah, yeah, literally supporting me. My Winston cushion. Funny,
Yeah.
Winston's a popular name in email because who's the other one? Winston Digital Bear Dog. Winston the dog.
Oh,
Dog Digital.
okay.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
two Winstons in email.
Yeah.
Kumo. Fabulous, and especially grateful and proud to have their support because they're an open source organisation. So yes, they have commercial offerings, but they're young and fresh and supporting us, and so that means a lot.
Yeah.
We also have Green Arrow and Halon, which that's three of the major MTAs. Other folks are out there. Get on board. We are vendor neutral. But it is really good to have all of this support as enterprise members. Actually, one thing I haven't talked about on LinkedIn or otherwise, and it's only been for those that have reached out and specifically asked about it. The membership tiers up until now have been the top tier was enterprise, but we've actually introduced quietly two new tiers, and I think we may have our first what's the new tier called? Strategic partner,
Oh,
and we
nice.
may be announcing a strategic partner next month,
Yeah.
which will help change things significantly. But yeah, those members let us do so. We've always been more than a vendor directory. It was never. I mean, maybe my idea 15 years ago was we could be like the Yahoo for email, and I
Hmm.
could make money charging people for business. Google Zero is definitely paid. paid yeah, killed that idea off. But in any case, that was never really what happened. It would never been a news organisation, although that's what I went to university to do. So I was always keen on the publishing and the journalist side and that side of things, or an events company. It was really just about bringing people together, and like the blog was so that we could let other people know what people are
Yeah.
doing in email, and the vendor directory was so we could let people know what other cool companies and services and solutions there were out there, and it was just about connecting people. And we did 5 in-person events last year,
Mhm.
3 conferences, 2 conferences, and or no, 5 meetups and 2 conferences. So there was more than one every 2 months, and that was really cool. But it meant that we neglected online,
Mm.
and now I'm really wanting to make sure that and that's where we came in with. Started with you, and hopefully bringing in other people to collaborate with, so that we've got something happening every month live. So that's what we'd like to be doing. But yeah, absolutely, all of this is only possible because of those members. So if you folks are needing anything, then yeah, reach out to them directly if they help. If you go to the hub, then there's links to all of them directly, or the homepage of Email Expert. We try and give our enterprise members as much visibility across everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
But there's other programs that we were doing during the pandemic when we were locked down, so there's nothing
Mm.
that we could do, and I really want to bring those back, but again, need more human resources to make it possible, or
Yeah.
high human intelligence. So we were running we had the email mentors program, which was a semi-formal thing where we actually
Yeah.
matched mentors with mentees and things. It was all completely free, but there's all of these experiments that we've run over the last few years, and I just want to, and they worked, and I just want to try and find the right, which is why I'm really glad to be working with you and hoping to sign more of the members so that we can be working more with you and more with others, because I think that's how the knowledge
Yeah,
gets
for sure.
around. And it's not just, and I know it's hard because there's so many great things happening across the industry.
Yeah.
Some of your favorite events
Ooh, well,
outside of Deliverability
I
Summit?
was going to say,
So
obviously, the
answer the question.
Deliverability Summit is a highlight. Yes. Yeah, that one's great. I mean, I feel like, I mean, one of the ones, and it's, it's tricky because like MOG is one of the ones that actually is one of my favorite conferences, but it's like, it's for members only. So it's more kind of like a private circle. You've got to be like a sender that gets like audited and kind of all these things first before you're actually allowed into the organization. But
Yeah.
it's nice. And I think this is true of like a lot of the events that you go to. You tend to see a lot of the same people over and over again. And so
Yeah.
they become friends. Like when I go to an event now, it feels a bit like I'm coming home because I'm just like, oh, you guys. And like it's like my friends. It feels almost like you're going to like a high school reunion because there's no kids and you all just get to act like you're 22 again, even though you're in your 40s and 50s and whatever else you are. So I think that one's really great. Where else? I mean, the ANA conferences, I always enjoyed those in the past. I know they've kind of changed their format since then. But I think it's just the ones I like are the ones that are kind of a little bit smaller, like the ones where, because you go to these events where it's like a trade show and you're walking around and you feel like a nobody and you don't know what you're doing and you're exhausted from talking to strangers, where like if you're in a smaller room where there's maybe even just like a couple hundred people, you can pick and choose, but they're your people, right? Like it
I don't know
feels
where to
more
start in the super
yeah.
events. I don't know if it wasn't for, like when we go to like one of the AWS things, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for Nelly going, right, I'm like, how did you spot in this? It's just overwhelming for me. And it's
Yeah,
like,
it really
like,
is.
come over here and speak to this person. And like, how did you manage a personal conversation in such a huge space of strangers? It's just, yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, right.
And
Nelly
I,
has a lot of skills.
I
Yeah.
think I, sorry?
I said Nelly has a lot of skills. She's proving it. I mean, she's just she's everywhere. She's the magic
Yeah,
behind.
she's yeah. First, not necessarily be on camera. Come and say hello.
Yeah, come say hi. Yeah, and we should give her a shout out as well for all of the news pieces that have come out from you guys recently. Hello. Yeah, like I feel like she does a lot of the research, right? Like she's the one who's finding all of these things, and like I just get this wonderful little post that's like, here's the 55 things that have happened in the last week, and I just like fall out of my chair because I'm like, what have I been missing, right? But like Nelly's catching it all, so bravo to you. It's really helpful.
And sometimes I'm just like, are you sure there's a story here? I'm tracking me, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Let people decide, right?
But yeah, and talking about that, we don't have a newsletter. I know you do put up the link for Lauren's. So Send It Right has a newsletter, which people need to get over there and sign up to. Email Expert doesn't, not because we don't send emails, but what I did for my sins, I vibe coded an alerts plugin for WordPress. So basically, you can sign up and you can decide if you want to receive stuff daily or weekly or monthly, and you can decide which topics you want and which topics you don't want, and it's like 3 clicks or what have you. Most people just say everything and weekly, so it's kind of a newsletter in that sense, but you can kind of tweak it, and my hope was and we won't necessarily send something every day, so we don't publish to a calendar. We don't have we haven't published anything. I mean, Nelly does kind of get neggy, like, why haven't we published anything for 3 days? And I'm like, have we got anything? Like, no, not really. Like, if there's nothing happening, we're not going to publish just for the sake
That's
of
it. Yeah, save your words for when there's something important to say, right?
But yeah, so get yourself signed up to Send It Right, folks, and on emailexpert.com on any of the news articles. I think there's about 1,000 people subscribed. I think there's less subscribed than potentially could have, because it's not your typical, here's your email address and start. I might change the start screen so they understand it's a opt-in box, because might get lost. That was a little bit of a detour. And what's the next Deliverability Summit Roundtable going to be about?
The next
one. This out for about the next 6 or so. Not scripted it, but you've got rough things we want to talk about, no?
Yeah, we do, and that's one of those. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's buried in a very deep thread where we talked about 80 things.
I remember
I
that.
don't remember actually what the topic is. Yeah, this one is why is email so hard, but beyond that.
The next one is why it feels hard, and then I've got three as well.
Okay.
Might have the details here. What we got wrong about engagement: separate human behavior and machine noise. Does that sound right?
I think that could be one of them. Yeah, I think the other thing though is like a shout out to whoever's watching and listening. If there's topics that you care about, please contact me, because I think whether it becomes the overarching topic for the month or if it's just one of the subtopics that we get into, like this is the whole point, is for you folks to walk out of these feeling more informed on the things that you care about, not just to like wax intellectual about things for an hour, right? So yeah, please just sign up. I think Andrew actually set it up so you can sign up for the entire series. So even if you're busy July 7th for the next one, then you could actually just get into the series and kind of be aware of when they're coming. Join when you can.
Yeah, I think I should have tested it personally, but I believe what Millie said was, so if you register for the series, basically you've got the option of adding it into your calendar, and then
Perfect.
you rock up.
Yeah.
You don't. But it saves you having to remember to re-register each month. And I did have thoughts around that. But when we started this whole conversation, right at the beginning, you said that you've been quite busy this week because you've been working with a couple of clients. Don't expect you to be able to name names or anything. But what are you getting up to? What kind of services are you offering people? What can people reach out to Lauren with?
Yeah. So I think it's one of those, I kind of started Send It Right. My started as like a side project, right? Like it really was just meant to be like, I want to talk about email. I've been thinking about all these concepts for so long. I'll just start a newsletter. And so I think it started there, but today it's like my full-time passion project, my full-time kind of gig. And it really is just meant to be other ways to kind of advance the industry. I actually spend a lot of my time like helping organizations understand what's actually changing in email. So it is kind of like just wrapping your brain around all these different changes. And then I actually am working with a couple of clients to just like sort of be kind of like an extension of their marketing team, but from the filter of an email lens, right? Because it's like I've worked for multiple ESPs. I've worked for other vendors in the space. I've kind of been able to go to all these conferences and get in the rooms with all these people that understand it and matter the most. But then I also was, the head of marketing for Socket Labs in my past role, right? So I think I have the ability to understand like what executives care about and what matters from like a marketing perspective. Like almost like I've just done a lot of testing, and I know what works and kind of what doesn't work, like what falls flat. Promotional things. Nobody is here on LinkedIn to actually just see a bunch of advertisements or promos, right? Like they're not like, oh, cool, that's great, you're selling your thing again. Like it's really about giving value, like making people really be able to take away something that makes sense, right? So I think that's what I'm trying to do, is like help these organizations figure out where they fit into like the larger ecosystem, and like what is the so what about you? Like why should people actually use your service or your product? Like, right, like it's not just to sell the shit, right? Like we can all sell tech, right? Like selling tech's great, but I think it's where is the right match for you? Why is this important for you within context of that, right? So I think that's sort of like, I guess, what I've been up to is just kind of.
Is it mostly companies already in email?
Yeah. So it's mostly like vendors in the space, right? Like so they're just like, I feel like this is just, not to say they're missing what's important, but I think it's like we all live so deep in the weeds of email that like, for me, like I don't want to talk about anything I've talked about before, which is a lot, right? So like I'm bored by the top 10 things that people actually want to learn about deliverability, because it's just like secondhand. But I think that's where we need to continue to advance that and like blend it, right? Like how do you get people to care about email in a way that makes sense to them, but then also make them care about what technology to use or what services to use or what certifications that you should go for, things like that.
Got it. And are we talking founder-led organizations or more enterprisey or?
I would say kind of a mix of all, honestly. Like I've got one that is very much an enterprise, and then I've got some others that are, kind of smaller shops, maybe.
Okay, so all the vendors listening, whatever size.
Yeah, vendors listening, please.
Another set of eyes on what you're doing in email and how to tackle it. And your newsletter, that's monthly or weekly?
Oh God. Okay. So I say weekly-ish on my landing page, because I think, so if you sign up for the if you sign up now, you will get like I have preloaded a bunch of the newsletters that I thought were actually worthy of people seeing them. Like I put a lot of like my heart and soul into them. So
Yep.
you get weekly. And then at some point, like the escalator just ends and then it becomes monthly-ish. Like, so, but I think we're literally like a month and a week at this point that I haven't sent it. So they've just been busy elsewhere, right? So I think,
like, no, that's cool. And like I said,
yeah,
it's much better that you save your words until you have something, as you
I
said, you
think the
have something meaningful
problem
to
is
say.
just I labor over my words, right? Like it's done. And like, the amount of times that I just, they look at it and I go, God, what did I do? Like, this is literally, I could turn this into 3 newsletters, but then instead I'm like, yeah, but no, but they need the context of this with that. And this pairs really well because then they have all the concepts. And then people just go, there's somebody who told me, they're like, I love your newsletter. I find it very helpful, but I have to come back to it twice. I can't read it
Yeah.
all in one sitting. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you came back. Like, thank you for that. But yeah, so I'm still kind of playing around with it. I like to have fun with it. Sometimes the inspiration just doesn't hit because I am busy elsewhere or I'm just exhausted from twins, 7-year-old twins or whatever, right? So yeah, so apologies if you're one of the people that have hung in there for a long time and you don't get it often enough. You're not missing it. It's hopefully not in your spam folder. It's just that I haven't hit send in quite a while. Right? Yeah.
So how is life with 7-year-old twins?
Oh,
How old are Safe's twins? They're smaller because my brother's got twins. I think they're 5. Though.
okay. All right.
But
Yeah.
they're a handful.
They are. And,
Girls.
it's funny when mine were about like 6 months old and I was exhausted. My cousin was like, I have a friend with twins. And she told me that it gets like way easier after they're 5. And I was like, when they're 5, like only 4.5 years to go. But like, yeah, I think like now that they're 7.5, like we are at that point where it's easier. Like it still is hard. And like they are very, very different people and they just kind of bounce off each other. And, like sometimes they come downstairs and you'll hear them go, do you want to be twins today? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then other days they just, they're just pushing each other out of the way to brush their teeth when they brush their teeth or whatever. But like, it's nice. They've got friends that are really good friends and they're kind of thriving, right? Like my son's in
Yeah.
Taekwondo and got his next belt last night, right? He passed
Oh,
the
wow.
test. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of been fun, right? And like we live near the beach. I'm super thankful that my wife's family is from basically a beach town. So like that's
Yeah.
where I had to move when we settled down. But yeah, so like my
Nice.
kids just get to go to the beach. Like they go to the beach more in a month than I did as like, for the entire year when I was a kid growing up in Pennsylvania,
Awesome.
right? So like, yeah. So it's good. You can see I have a little bit more energy now than I probably did in the last 2 or 3 years.
So you moved there what, 3 years ago? Or
Let's see. It literally was about 6 weeks before the pandemic, which was great because, yeah, I was living in New York City before that. And like I was there for 15 years. Most of it was without children. And it was amazing, right? Like I love New York City. I was really sad to leave there. But with kids, like you're basically just
how
living
awful would
in a
the
shoebox,
pandemic?
right? What's that?
How awful would the pandemic have been in
I
New
just,
York?
yeah. I had many friends move out of New York City at that time because they're like, we don't get to do anything. Like we hate leaving our apartment because then you have to touch all the elevator buttons and we're afraid of the hallways. But then like all the events and all the things that you cared about in the concerts were canceled. So like it's a completely different thing. And I think we were lucky enough to just leave on our own decision and get out because we had kids. So then we had a nice, front yard, backyard for our kids to play in during the pandemic instead of a shoebox.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
even if you can't get into the water, our restrictions stopped us at times. But even being close to the water, it's just healing for the soul. Much more
Just to
healing
see
if
it.
you can actually
Yeah.
get in.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like working from
definitely
home,
need
many of
the
us
water.
don't leave the house ever, right? Like we're just like,
Yeah.
and like I'm like, I know when I leave the house, like, I'll go pick up a prescription heading downtown in our town, and I can see the ocean in the distance, and I'm like, why don't I just do this more? Like just go for a walk, go for a drive, like all of us, get outside. I don't want to say touch grass because that's old, but yeah, just get out
Yeah.
and do something, right? Leave your houses.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Well, I'm glad that's worked out for you, and you weren't
Yeah.
stuck in New York then. Yeah, similarly, we'd gone rural. I mean, a little bit earlier then, but yeah, I felt so bad for those people that were in, because I don't know how the restrictions were in the States, but over here it was based on, you know, you could go slightly further if your shops were further away, because we're rural. I got a
Okay.
tiny bit of a walk because there is no supermarkets at the but the people that lived in like apartment blocks in the cities that had supermarkets downstairs, you have no reason to be going anywhere else. Like you have a
Yeah.
supermarket in the building, you have a chemist in the building, you don't need to go anywhere. And so yeah, I did kind of feel glad I wasn't in the city for the first time. Um, yeah, Nelly saying mention the forum. See,
I
Nelly's
was just gonna
obviously
say, like, speaking of cities, right? Like London. I mean, the first time I went to London, I remember being like, whatever, okay, this is gonna be fine. And then I got there and I was like, this is cool, right? Like, and there's so much history. There's a lot of fun things to do. The food's pretty good, you know, especially if you can find stuff that's not fried, right? There's a lot of fried food
yeah.
there, but yes. Yeah, so what
Well,
to the forum?
I
Tell
think
us
I
about
said,
it.
I think I said to Isabella, like, we'll definitely send you home with some fabulous Caribbean food because that's
It's,
my favourite food that I can get in
yeah.
London. Maybe not so much, but yeah, we'll probably send it back with some nice biscuits and tea bags as well.
Okay.
So I'm back
Yeah.
on everything British, but yeah, no, I just kind of, I suppose I was worried about doing anything in London. It was just like,
Okay.
we built up so much around, and then that was our first event, and it didn't happen. It was just like, we'll do outside of London. We'll do
Taking it
Brighton,
back
but yeah,
now.
but yeah, we're going back to London. We're going back to central London. Okay, maybe we can drop a couple of things. So, like, why bother watching the podcast? So, it's called St Mary's. It's a Grade One listed building. It's a working church, but we've got to take over the building for 2 days. It's in Marylebone, so around the corner from all the science museums and things. And one of the things I said that, you know, and not so much the CPAS, but I did say that there's other areas of email that we're looking to cover, because we've done deliverability and we're definitely going to cover deliverability, and there'll be the marketing and the CRM. But we're planning on having at least one afternoon looking at like on-prem email, you know, the one that humans use,
Okay.
actual
Yeah.
mailboxes and stuff, and the security around that, inbound protection and other things, because I think those people also deserve to be part of the conversation and hear what
Yeah.
people are saying. Named people that I can mention. Well, we've got Open Exchange, Sipsels, Jensen's, Sidsel Jensen's going to be speaking. We're going to have Marcel Becker from Yahoo. She's already confirmed. We've also got David Finger from Cesnam.
Mhm.
And I won't name the names because they're all tentative, but all looking pretty good. But we should have a lot of the universities, Oxford, Cambridge.
Nice.
We've got one speaker that's basically air-gapped the email security system for the, well, was part of the team that did it for the UK government, and also did the same for NATO, so there's secure email messaging and stuff.
Yeah.
So some really interesting speakers coming in around that security track, and it's something that's slightly different to what we've been doing before. The building's fabulous, and I'll have more info about the agenda. We're hoping for 200 plus people, which should be a given. Technically, I think we can go to about 300, but we can only feed about 250, so we might have some extra tickets that won't be able to
Yeah.
have access to the food, which is always a...
So once it's sold out with the food, you can just tell people they have to bring their own lunch. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there
you
is some
register
lovely
late, you're bringing
parks.
your own lunch. Okay.
There is some lovely parks around there,
There you
but
go.
yeah, there's just all of the rules. But I'm really looking forward to that, and yeah, for something to be a little bit different, not pure marketing, not pure CRM, not pure deliverability, but to have some real technical contact. And I should say it's only happening because there was 3 of our, well, actually, we can mention. Oh, I can mention more than 3. Green Arrow stepped up as a platinum sponsor, and Bouncer came in as a gold sponsor, and Kumo came in as a silver sponsor. We also have Halon now as a silver sponsor. One more that I can't mention yet. Don't want to jinx it, but I'm pretty confident. But yeah, those folks did it without knowing the venue, the format, the agenda, the speakers, nothing. They were just like, okay, if you really want, then if you're convinced this is going to work.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful to them. And again, it's enterprise members that have really committed and really donated to us, and they're stepping
Yeah.
up again. So I really appreciate it. we
I feel like
will.
what's really powerful there is just like these are folks. Not only do they trust you because you actually do throw really good events, so bravo to you and Nelly for that. But they care about the industry. Like I think that's the biggest thing is you have brands in this industry that like just they talk about being email people, they talk about like being part of the community, but they never show up anywhere, right?
Yeah,
These are folks that like after sessions, like I think I mentioned something. They're like, let's all collaborate. We all need to get together. And I had folks come up to me after and be like, how can we support you? Like, you guys are doing cool things. How can we get involved? Like, what part of this can we support? Right. And sometimes that's monetarily. They just also have experts that work at those companies. Right. So then they can share that information. So I think it's
yeah.
just that's the double threat there. It's great.
That, yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, it's like, so you want to speak about FEMA? Oh, you are the person who's been writing this.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah,
Roach
absolutely, you
protocol.
can talk
Okay.
about
Fine.
it. And it's so, and I have to say, it's so awesome having such experienced experts, such like stellar experts across those orgs, because um, there's folks that are just like, well, I was going to propose that I talk about this, but I suppose like the author's going to be talking about it. And you're like, yeah, kind of, but we can have like a panel discussion with you involved because
Yeah,
we
for
want
sure.
everyone to have a voice. But yeah, we are kind of blessed with some of the people working at those orgs. I'm not going to start naming names because I'm going to half of them, and there's brilliant people that across all of them. But I am really really grateful for their support. And yeah, that's. I mean, if there's one thing that, if there are any enterprises watching this, I'm hoping to introduce you to brilliant folks like Lauren and others that we're working with, and we'd really like to be working more with them. And we can help you and introduce you if you want to work directly with people like Lauren. But the more support that we have, the more that we can do online and in person. Really
Yeah.
hoping to do more in person meetups and stuff, but the resources. Of the members, it's like 1 + 1 = 15. Sometimes
Sure.
it really feels like that.
Mm.
And so yeah, if there's anyone that's looking, we'll be probably we'll probably be a little bit more public about it and wrap up the membership drive for 2026, 2027 in July. But yeah, we're working with some awesome people alongside Lauren in future episodes. Good time to do this. Future episodes, we're going to have the other team members that we've already confirmed. Riaz, Martina, Riaz Kanani. We'll probably be talking B2B. Martina Lip, we're definitely going to be talking enterprise B2C CRM stuff and her career there. Christopher Marriott, I may even try and get him to spill the beans on these rumours that he's been talking about on LinkedIn. I'm not even going to mention them on the show
Okay.
because I don't have a in-house lawyer. So go follow Chris Marriott and check his posts. But there's some pretty juicy gossip there. Yeah, I said that we'd give away at least another couple of little secrets. I'm not even going to do this in the roundup. I'll tell you. So, and then the other guests will be Kate Barrett and Della Quist because we've also brought them on, but we haven't announced it. So
Yeah.
there's another exclusive for people that are listening. But yeah, so the next guests will be, and I'm not sure exactly whether it's going to be Martina or Kate next month. But I
Okay.
really enjoyed chatting to you. It's great hearing about the twins and the beach.
That's the highlight of our episode about email.
And hopefully I think it's supposed to be about the people, right?
That's fair. That is
And
very true. Yeah.
making human connections. And I didn't even have to say like, give me the one interesting thing that people might not know about you. It just came out. So
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
yeah.
I can also give you another one that's kind of embarrassing to me, but also I used to play dodgeball as an adult in New York City, and I loved it. And like at some point, like, pretty good. Like I actually I can throw pretty hard. I loved sniping the men because they were always so surprised when you got them out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually got recruited once. Somebody was like, "You can play on I need you to play on my team," and I was like, "I don't want to pay for two," and he's like, "I'll pay for you. Just get on my team." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So then I was playing dodgeball twice a week and I loved it. So super nerdy, but
It's the smack you with the
right, yeah, and it was like those kind of softer balls, like almost like the gator skin ones, right? So it wasn't like the Foursquare ball that just leaves like an imprint on your face, but yeah, it was really fun.
triggers me. I don't think I ever got into dodgeball. So when I went to school, was around, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before was when they told teachers they could no longer use corporal punishment
Oh,
on the kids.
and,
Yeah,
and then dodgeball was created.
it was roughly that time. No, but they did just pass everything off. Again, my recollections might be wrong, and I'm not going to name any teachers specifically, but
Okay.
we did kind of get the feeling that teachers, when they were annoyed with you in class, would pass on to the phys ed teacher who had been wrong, and you would find basketballs like in your back or
Oh yeah.
footballs in your shins and stuff. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
is that the corporal punishment that you guys banned? Because it kind of
I
feels
think
like
it is.
everyone's picking on Amos today. What's
Uh-huh.
going on?
Yeah. I mean, my
So,
brother definitely like pissed off one of the soccer coaches who was also like the gym teacher. And so, no joke, every time there was like a rain day, it was dodgeball day, and the guy would just gun for my brother the entire time. Like he had a serious axe to grind with him. So,
yeah,
yeah, it was
I
kind of
think
hilarious. Yes.
I was just too soft for dodgeball and roller derby as well. People that
Oh,
was really
nice.
huge in Nottingham, roller derby. People went for that.
Yeah.
I was just like, and hockey is definitely a spectator sport for me. But yeah, non-contact sports I'm good with. Yeah, thank you so much, Lauren.
Thanks for having
I
me.
think we've run over a couple of minutes, which is absolutely perfect. Thanks to the members, thanks to you, thanks to those that listen, thanks to those that are watching the replays. And I think we went live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So depending on where you are, you need to like or follow or subscribe or
Yeah.
comment or something. It would be very much appreciated if we find out. I can see there's actually at least 5 people still listening. So
Thanks everybody for hanging in there.
thank you so much. I'm not the best interviewer, and it's not supposed to be an interview. So yeah, hopefully you get some insights into the wacky mind of Andrea as we go along, meeting more of the fabulous people that help make Even an Expert possible. So
Yay.
thanks,
Exciting.
Lauren, and have what you got planned for the weekend? Anything special?
I think I've got another birthday party to go to with the kids. We're at that age where like everybody has birthday parties and like they're in separate classes. So it's not just 25 kids, it's 50 kids that potentially are inviting my children to a birthday party. So another one this weekend. Yeah. All right.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
And I will catch up with you next week.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And you can play some kind of video or something, maybe. No, we're serious. You must be able to play a video or something.
Yeah.
Media assets.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Okay.
tapping.